When I was like maybe like from the time from 8 to like 13, it was like really fun because I was like being a kid. I was always at the park playing soccer. But then when I hit 13 or like 14, that's kind of when I got into my rebellious stage. And I would kind of like do everything my parents said not to do. And I would kind of like skip class. I was dating boys that my parents told me I wasn't allowed to date. Um, and yeah, I just wasn't listening really until I started dating Edgar. I really didn't pay attention to like religion as a whole because that's not something my friends would talk about much, so it didn't really like affect me in a way because I didn't really know about it. I just knew like my parents like would tell me like, oh, like there's a God that's looking over us, but that's all I really knew. I knew what he did, like that he died on the cross, but that's really it. I didn't know anything else. Well, when we started dating, like Edgar invited me to youth group and I was kind of hesitant because that's not really something that, like, not that I wasn't interested, it's just something that was different to me. I just remember his mom always telling us before we started, like when we first started dating in the beginning, she said that if we wanted to keep our relationship, we had to have a God-centered relationship, and I didn't really understand what it meant. I just knew that that's something that she was really pushing for, so that's why I gave it a shot, like to like go to youth group and stuff. When I went to Big Stuff, that was where it impacted me the most because, I mean, like throughout Big Stuff, all the messages were really, really nice and it impacted me, but I still didn't really feel like that connection. But the last night, I went with Edgar to the beach and we started praying, and like I just felt like God's presence, and like that's when I knew that there was like something, like there was something that I was missing out on. We just started praying, and then like out of nowhere, I just started crying, and I really didn't know like how I was feeling. I just knew that it was God. So after that, I was like, okay, this is real. Like, God is real. Like, this feeling is just different, and like, there's no way I cannot follow him. So after that, I mean, I got really involved really quickly. I don't even know how it happened, to be honest. I felt like I just like, not really got pushed into it, but like, I just dove right into it. Just meeting all the new people, like getting impacted by the little kids. Like, I first started in kids ministry, and those kids, I mean, it was really fun. They were really, really fun. And like, that's where I felt like the most love because they were just very sincere, obviously, because they're little kids. After that, I became a small group leader. And I also was helping out in guest services. And my first Big Stuff as a small group leader, I feel like that's when it shifted even more because I had to be like a leader for real. Like, that's where I felt like my relationship with Christ even grew even more. I feel like I see things differently now. Before, I felt like I was really worried about like what my friends were doing or like what they would think of me. My friends didn't really know that side of me being a Christian. So when I would go to soccer and I'd be like, oh, I can't hang out with you guys because on Sunday I have to go to church or I'm going to youth group, like they would be like, what? Why are you going? Like, why can't you just stay with us for one day or whatever? That's just stuff that I was like, oh, like, maybe I should just go with them, but now it's just like I really don't care. Like I would rather like leave something, drop something to go to church or drop something to go to youth group. I don't know, I just feel like this love that I have now and like this peace that I have inside of me is just different. I would have never found that if I would have never seeked for Jesus Christ. I want to thank Maria Inés and Edgar and his family, Mauri, Natalie, and the small group leaders, Isa, Sibas, Gabby Matos. They've really impacted me. They've always been there for me, and I want to thank them for that. And I just want to publicly declare that Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior, and I'm here to follow him for the rest of my life.